Hey, what's up? This is Eric, host of the Change Talk podcast. Today I'm here with Alfred Suniga, friend and fellow OMCP mentor. What's up, Alfred? How you doing today, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Eric. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I just wanted to, have you come on today. Just, maybe you could talk to those out there in the community a little bit about your change, man, and how you got to this point.
A little bit about myself. I'm a 45-year-old Hispanic male. Former gang member. Ex-alcoholic. A little bit about myself. I grew up an only child. In a gang neighborhood. I come from a home of domestic violence with an alcoholic father. Like a lot of us do. I found myself out there. Just running from the home. Looking for acceptance. Elsewhere in the community. And I found that within gangs. I started getting involved in gang violence, and it's led me to a path of destruction. Along with my addiction, it contributed to where I am today.
Right, man. Thanks for sharing that with us as well, too. Sounds like you grew up, seen a lot of trauma in your life, bro, and it kind of led down this way. Tell us a little bit about what led to your incarceration and how long you've been incarcerated.
Well, I've been incarcerated for the past 18 years and sentenced to life without the possibility of parole for a double murder. And I can't say that my upbringing was that bad because there are good aspects of it. I come from a mother and father who are still married, to this day, 47 years later. But like I said, there was a lot of violence in the home, and I was influenced by that. I was influenced by it to the point where, I had no conflict resolution skills. My anxiety since being a little boy, witnessing domestic violence and, addiction and a raging father, my anxiety levels, it's been high since, as far as I can back remember. So it didn't take me far. It didn't take me, much to get me to that point, to act upon my violence. I had a violent nature, and, out there being a gang member and, shooting at people and getting into fights at bars and clubs and, just in the public, terrorizing community, should I say. That's, fortunately, sadly to say, growing up, I ended up, taking the domestic violence into my own home as well. And my children had witnessed that, and, my wife, she was a victim of that, so, with great shame, I have to admit that, I have to be honest with myself, before anything. And, I was living a double life, though, I had a good job, out there. I was a Class A truck driver and a heavy equipment operator. And, back in 2000, I was 21 years old, and, not like much people incarcerated, but I purchased my first home. I had a mortgage payment. It was a brand new house. But, like I said, I was living a double life, man. I was at nights, I was out there gang banging and, partying with the homeboys and not going home some nights. And, that led to everything. That led to the murders and I am where I'm at, and rightfully so. I deserve it for the life that I was living.
And how did you come to that point, though, to understand that you were wrong, to take responsibility for what you did? Because it seems like you had somewhat of a okay upbringing too, like with the family, your parents there, and then it seems that you had a house, you had a job, but it seems like that maybe addictive lifestyle too as well, with the gangs, and alcohol plays a role into that, and some of the trauma that you may have faced or experienced comes into play. And then now you're in prison, you're doing 18 years. When did you come to the point when you just realized, man, like, I got to make that change? Something's got to give. Like, what was that turning point for you, Alfred?
Well, like anything, Eric, it's a process, man. I didn't just become a gang member. I just didn't become an alcoholic. There was a lot that led up to it, and led up to my change. Like I said, I was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. So I've been down 18 years. I'll take you back to 2012, my last shoe term. I was sitting back in the shoe, and I got a visit from my grandmother. my grandmother was she was with my mother, and you know, looking at my grandmother from behind a piece of glass, and just seeing tears roll down her eyes, and her telling me, hey Alfred, when you gonna get it? When you gonna get it? You continue hurting people. You continue hurting us. I can't even sit down and hug you. I can't even sit down and feed you a meal because you choose to be doing what you're doing. And it was hard. It was hard to take in, and I had to accept the reality as, and you know what? She was right. It was the choices that I made. And so when I realized that, I had the choices. I have a choice to do good in my life. It's all up to me. So that when I was released from the SHU back in November, the day before Thanksgiving, 2012, I got out to a yard, and I started making changes for myself. I started saying, you know what, I'm not going to be part of a gang no more. I'm going to go out there and, I'm going to attend self-help groups. And, I got into a program called EDGE program, where they bring kids in. It's called Education, Diversion, and Goals to Endeavor. They bring the youth in from different communities. And it had a big impact. Had a big impact on my life, on me. Just seeing them little kids growing up and putting myself in their position, putting myself in their shoes, because I lived that life. I seen their struggles. I seen their fears. I seen their worries. So in order to make a difference, I had to help me. I had to help them. And if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense right there. And just taking it back for a second, you're in the SHU that last time, and you're sitting in there. For those that don't understand what the SHU is, it's basically solitary confinement, right?
Correct.
And you're behind a glass window. What are the emotions that you feel though in that moment?
And you know what? To be honest with you, Eric, I felt a lot of deep remorse, shame, regret, embarrassment. All these started surfacing, man. And I see the hurt in my grandmother's eyes, and I see my mother hurting because she sees her mother hurting. So, I had to make a decision when I got out, to never put myself back in there again. Because all my grandmother wanted to do, she just wanted to touch me, man. She wanted to hold my hand. She wanted to feed me. And she told me, she tells me, look, I'm getting older. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do this, and I might not be able to see you. I might not be able to touch you. So, thank God, I lost my grandmother, last year, last September. So, it's been difficult. It's been difficult for my family, but I was able to give her what she wanted. She wanted to give me that. She wanted that contact visit. And, thank God, I was able to give her a few of them visits. So we were able to sit down, and I was able to hug her and, express my greatest sympathy for, what I caused, And to make things worse, man, is when I committed my crime, when I committed the murders, it was on her birthday, so that carried a lot of weight on me. And, I had to make amends somehow, some way. And, I was blessed for her to see, the change, and for her to hear the change. She attended a few graduations that I had, different programs that I completed. And, it was a hell of a gift to give to my grandmother for her birthday, man. And, out there running amok and, living the life, it was an addictive lifestyle, like you said. And you're not thinking about them things, man. And, when I committed the murders, that was the last thing on my mind, that it was my grandmother's birthday, and it happened about 2 o'clock in the morning. So, I was drunk, and, it just, I'm here, man. I'm here for it.
Right. And, I'm sorry that you lost your grandmother, but also thankful that you got a chance to show her that change, man, and that she didn't have to see you behind that glass no more and see you in your addictive lifestyle, man, but see you living the person she always knew that you were and could be. So that's awesome to be able to give that back. Yeah, so it sounds like you wanted to lead by example, man, for them kids, and start showing them, that helped you in your change. But if I could, I'd like to ask, who else was influential in your change, man, and helped you in that?
I had to dig deep, because obviously the path that I was on, I couldn't do it for myself. So I had to lean on a support system. A lot of times in life, we tend to say, hey, I got this, and it's a machismo thing, I guess. We don't need no help. We grow up with that belief system. You're reaching out for help that makes you weak. So I had to tell myself, hey, because I'm reaching out, it's because I need help. And my wife played a huge part, in my support system. The positive change that I do, of course I do it for her because I want to get home. I want to get home to her. I want to get home to her. I want to get home to my mother. My mother, man, I love my mother dearly. My father, I love him as well. Although he's still caught up in the lifestyle he's caught up in, all I can do is talk to him and pray for him. I lean on my faith. Of course, God before all. And I know there was a better way. And I had to develop. I had to look inside. I had to find the insight that I needed as to why I became the person that I was. Why was I making decisions? And I had to come to the terms with that I was being a person that I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be that ugly person, man. That violent nature. I had to make the change.
Right. And that's good, man. Just being able to come full circle and started to deal, with your emotions, man. Understanding what it is to have remorse, understanding what it is to, make those changes and know why you're doing them, and the people that you have that are supporting you along the way. So, fast forward, you took us through a little bit of your life, and what led, to you becoming incarcerated and then being incarcerated for 18 years, and then that changing point that happened in your life. So who is Alfred Suniga today? Who are you today, and what are you doing in your change and in prison? What does it look like today?
Alfred Suniga is a changed man. No longer that violent man. I know how to control my emotions. I know how to manage my feelings. And I'm able to say, when I'm hurt, or when I have fear. I don't need to be the put on that mask for somebody who I ain't, man. And I guess I was afforded the opportunity with the OMCP program, the Offender Mentor Certification Program. What's now called the Occupational Mentor Certification Program, right?
Yeah.
They just changed the name on us, but yeah, I was afforded this opportunity. CC2, Ms. Plata here, and CC3, Mr. Phelps. They took a chance on me. And I completed the program as an AOD counselor. That's alcohol and other drug counselor. And so we received the education that we needed, and we co-facilitate for the Amity Foundation here within the institution. We run ISUDT classes, which stands for Integrated Substance Use Disorder Treatment. It's a program of we have a class of 12 inmates, students, and we educate them on different topics of victims awareness, thinking for a change, anger management, parenting inside out. So we dig deep, man, in these classes, and it's good. It's good to see the change within people, and knowing that you're making a difference. That's the gratification that we get out of this, man. And it's an amazing thing to see. People develop, throughout the process.
Yeah, right. And that's where we come into play, right? That's where we met. We both went to the OMCP program together. We went through it during the pandemic. So I'd like to think that first cohort that we went through kind of bonded, because it's really an 8 to 9 month program, and we were in there for 2 years because we kept going on COVID lockdowns and, just the kind of stress of that. But it kind of united our whole group, made it stronger, even though sometimes there can be some bickering here and there because of everything that's going on. But that's kind of to be expected in prison. But yeah, and it led to us coming to right here on the level 2. We made it down from those days where, we were in solitary confinement. We were kind of nuisances to the institutions that we were in, and then coming to the point where we make the change, and that's where me and you meet up. So it's been a pleasure going through the program and counseling with you over here on the yard and mentoring, the guys that are struggling here with substance use disorder or abuse. And so, Yeah, so as we're winding it down, obviously, I got the podcast Change Talk that was able to start here in the institution, and so you know, basically we're promoting that over the social media. And so, what would you say to those out there in the community about what Change Talk is to those in here, and what we hope to do to affect the incarcerated population inside, and hoping that it leads to change out there in the community?
Oh man, well, change is great, man. Change talk is great. It's a great thing that you start, Eric. I believe that overall is that we're here to be an influence. We're here to be an influence to understand where people are in their addiction, because addiction, substance use disorder, it's a disease of the brain. So we can't just off people. We have to understand. We listen to them. We listen to them with empathy, understanding, non-judgment. I think that's how we play a big part, and we see the impact that it has inside the institution. And these individuals come to us, and they open up and they share with us stories that they've never shared with other people. Their struggles, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing because a lot of people are confined. They're confined within their own mind, within their own space, should I say? They're just reaching out for help, and we're able to hear the change in their voice, and that's what Change Talk represents. Listening to people, having conversations with them, and hearing them express themselves in other ways, and being able to talk about their struggles. Just being able to be support for them. But yeah, that's pretty much what our goal is. Right?
Right. And you got a couple things going on too, man. Maybe you like to share a little bit, with the community out there about, some of the programs you're trying to get off the ground as well right now.
Yeah, definitely, brother. Right now we have in the works. We have a proposal within the institution, within the prison. It's a program called EGAR. It's an acronym, EGAR. It stands for Ending Generational Addiction and Recidivism. And our goal is to it's a virtual support program. So it'd be ran through I want to say Zoom and Skype and programs like that. But it's about just giving back to the community, educating parents about how they influence their youth. Whether it be dysfunction within the home, violence, addiction, just enlightening them on how they have so much influence. They have so much influence on their children.
All right, man. That sounds good, man. Is there any last words you'd like to say before we go?
I just like to thank you. Thank you for having me on, brother. It's been a pleasure always, and you're my brother, man. OMCP, we're here making a difference.
Yes, sir. With that said, signing off from Corcoran with prayers, love, and a little bit of change talk. Peace.